We started in 2014, and it came out of a couple of events. It came out of there was a little bit of a sort of renewables workshop organised by the local council, and a few people got together through that workshop and afterwards saying we should do something in this area. And then a few of that group also headed off to the first Community Energy Congress in Canberra that year. And there was a fairly enthusiastic and passionate core group who were very frustrated with the federal government's lack of movement on energy policy and could see that there were enormous potential in renewables. And their starting question was, how can we do energy differently? And what they saw was that not only could they take action on climate change, which was their primary motivating factor, but that using renewables and introducing them into the community would bring a whole host of other benefits as well. So they've spent the next 18 months just talking to people, and that was very deliberate because they were a very passionate and motivated group of individuals, but they needed to know that the community was on board with this as well. And so it was 18 months of stalls outside the supermarket, stalls at the local farmers market, um, talking to people, knocking on doors, knocking on the door of the local infrastructure provider, the local council, the local water utility, and the local health service, and just having conversations. And they also managed to get just a little bit of grant money. It was only a few thousand, and they paid somebody to do a community survey of a whole heap of locals, both from community groups and individuals, on their attitudes to renewables and what did the community support. And the outcome of all of that was overwhelmingly that Yackandandah was interested in the target of becoming 100% renewables. That's a pretty big goal, and it was always a stretch goal. So, really, it was just to start doing, taking action where we could. We looked at a few small projects to get started. We also had talked to the local infrastructure provider and we formed a bit of a partnership with them because they were looking to do things in the community. We started some bulk buys of solar panels. The conversations with the health service resulted in them coming back to us about 6 to 9 months later and had decided to put a whole heap of solar on their roof. That ended up saving them about $35,000 in their first year. So I wouldn't say there was any set path. It was much more continually examining the possibilities and having the conversations and seeing where they led. With a small volunteer group, it's simply not possible to keep up the sort of engagement that, say, a large commercial corporation or government organisation would do. You don't have the capacity to do that. But what you can do is those little small projects where you've helped the tennis club change their lights over to LED, or you've helped so and so to put solar panels on their roof. Then you get some engagement there. You get to speak to some of the people who decide to put solar panels on their roof. You get further engagement with them. These small projects and getting started is a very large part of your actual community engagement, and then making sure that whatever opportunity you have, you tell people about that. In every single project we do, it has to have two major uh, attributes. Every project has to reduce emissions and contribute towards our mission of 100% renewables. And every project has to have a local community benefit. This is a very important component. It's the reason why we talked to a lot of people and did our community survey at the start, was to make sure we were doing something that the community wanted. Back in 2014, the whole climate debate was so polarized that if we had gone into the community saying we have to all take action on climate change, we would have instantly divided the community and we wouldn't have got the support. So the approach we took was to say, let's think about energy differently. There are all these benefits that we can see with renewables, and one of them is reducing emissions, and that's important. But there are all these other benefits. They'll reduce your costs. We can help increase some local network stability. We can also provide some resilience to you. And all those other benefits, they are non political, they're not polarizing, and you can engage anybody in the community around those particular topics without it being a difficult or a tricky conversation. The key is to always keep having conversations about what's possible in your area and what would be good to happen in your area. I think that's probably one of the most important things. And also, as part of those conversations, to attract people with the right skills.